Tonight on Expressions Sound Fusion, Laura Orshaw. And John Stetch.
Hello, I'm Michael Kinney. Welcome to Expressions Sound Fusion, where we combine the talents of two musical groups of different genres to create something new and unique. Now tonight, it's bluegrass and jazz as we feature the talents of fiddler Laura Orshaw and jazz pianist John Stetch. Laura Orshaw is an Athens, Pennsylvania-based fiddler who's been impressing and captivating audiences since the age of 10 with her musicianship and energetic bluegrass fiddle playing. John Stetch resides in Ithaca, New York. His compositions combine innovative solos and unique synthesized elements to create a distinctive jazz style that's earned him a reputation as a cutting-edge virtuoso. Now this one promises to be a treat. So stop fiddling around and enjoy this amazing show made just for you on Expressions Sound Fusion.
People often comment that when I play jazz that I seem to have a lot of different sources of inspiration. And I think that's true because I've been listening to classical music for many years, and I love that, and I can't help that some of that just comes out. And I tend to love everything from stride piano to, you know, bebop to modern, and I think I like the whole 20th century. when you improvise, are you completely thinking from scratch that you're going to start a brand new idea and just invent new ideas all the time?
Not generally. I
Yeah.
start out with the actual melody of the tune that I learned,
Right.
and then I take phrases within that and replace them with another phrase, and then eventually I always come back to the original melody.
Okay.
I never think of, okay, I'm just going to play the chord structure.
Right.
I always have the melody in the back of my head, even though sometimes it does get far off from the melody. I still have the basic melody in mind,
Right. So you're
with bluegrass especially.
okay.
So.
So you're playing kind of theme and variations in a way,
Mm-hmm.
and things that you practiced before, and
Yes and no. A lot of times there's those standard licks that you
Right.
learn from all the great fiddle players, and I put those in where I think they're appropriate. And then other times, you just kind of go off
right.
and try to come up with something new. There's only so many notes you can play and so many
Right.
combinations, but
Right.
the way you play those notes makes a complete difference in what kind of music you're going to end up making.
Right.
You don't want to sound like everybody else, of course. So.
Right. Can I see one of
Sure.
the tunes in there?
Oh, wait, see, I remember a couple I was thinking of, actually more Irishy and Celtic
Okay.
type of things. This is one of my favorites. Irish tunes. So the first part is A minor G, basically, and so you get to the end, and then the second part again is very much revolved around the A minor G, kind of a Dorian
Right.
scale.
Right. Because when I see A minor, sometimes as a jazz player, I'm often used to just playing the upper extensions like a 9th and a 11th and things like that. But I know a little bit from experience that when I see this kind of piece, I wouldn't do that. I would play it a little more simple and a little more pure, just like A minor. you
Yeah,
know,
that
which
I
is-
can hear A minor. And
Right.
when you're playing those other chords, I'm like, how would that melody fit into those chords?
Yeah.
I'm like trying to think.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't fit in that well. So I think, yeah, more purely like that, and probably those are the first chords I ever learned when I first started, anyways.
Mhm.
They're more simple like this. And then but in jazz, often if there's a standard tune that has G major in it, then I would often play something like that that has a 9th and a major 7th and that kind of thing. But I know that I can see that this melody wouldn't need all that, and it would just be something more pure.
Mhm. Are the chord changes for jazz generally quicker, or are they longer? Like this tune has every beat just about a chord change at the beginning.
I
You can
noticed
see that?
yeah, and I've seen that a little bit on this kind of music before, and I'm not used to changing that quickly. So I noticed that, and it's a bit of a challenge for me to change that often.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes I find maybe a common pattern or common tones that work for both, and I might just keep a groove going.
Right across,
kind of
yeah.
thing. Maybe I'll join in
Nice, they're saying.
on the after the first beat.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. That's not fun.
decide to get their work all finished. We're going for a ride. I knew just what my dad meant when he hollered this to me. We'd head on into town today to meet train number 3. Back in those days, depression made it hard. We kept the farm a-going, but money won't go far. Roosevelt was elected a hero in our eyes. He sent the trains with flour, sugar, and supplies. I'd see that engine coming, speeding all the way, whether snow was falling round it or the sun shone through the day. He'd be there on time, a smile shone on his face. Sitting in the cab had a jolly hearty smile. In his overalls and collared shirt he'd drive for many a mile. With the tip of his engineer's cap he'd check the time and say, a month or more I'll be back. Then he pulled the train away. I said, when I'm older I'll be an engineer. In my overalls and collared shirt I'll drive far and near. But when that time came to be, I was heartbroken to find that we don't need trains no more with planes and cars to ride. I'd see that engine coming, speeding all the way, whether snow was falling round it or the sun shone through the day. He'd be there on time, a smile shone on his face. Years gone by, I got a job hauling coal to the factory, but things ain't nothing like the way they used to be. I guess I'll just be satisfied with the work that comes along, and always remember those old times with this song. I'd see that engine coming, speeding all the way, where the snow was falling round it or the sun shone through the day. He'd be there on time, a smile shone on his face.
Thank you. This is a medley of Ukrainian pieces, also a few Slavic pieces that I kind of made up, and it's all put together in a medley that happens usually in 5/4 time and 7/4 time, and it's called Zabava.
I'm used to the where you have a soloist and everybody else is backing that soloist. So when I hear
Right.
you playing a lot of notes and a lot of melody and improv
Yeah.
in your style, I feel like coming from my end that my job is to back you up and to let you
Right.
shine and do whatever I can do to add to what you're playing. And then when I hear you back off and not play anything,
Yeah,
I know that okay, now it's my turn.
right.
And that's how
Definitely.
bluegrass always works. When you have the singer and everybody backs up the singer. Nobody's playing a solo. You might be doing
Yeah,
little
no.
phrases in between, but everybody backs the singer.
Right.
And then you have breaks, instrumental breaks in between, and
Mhm.
one person at a time is taking that break. And again, you do anything you can to just stay back, but yet help them shine as much as they can.
Yep.
And I know when it's my turn to solo,
Right.
that's what I do.
this whole page, often when I would perform it with my friends, we would play the whole piece down to here, and then do kind of an improv based on the structure,
Mm-hmm.
or based on the chords patterns. And then at some point when we get down here, or when we've gone through it a couple times, we go back to the original piece up here again and just play it through again. And we usually refer to that as, this is usually the head of the piece and then the solo section.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of times I'm thinking about only the melody. So with chords like this, I'm just thinking of the basic, okay, we have a B, it's revolving around a B note. So I'm playing
Right.
the melody of it.
Right.
But within bluegrass, I know chords are my main thing making up my improv.
Mhm.
It's all the
Mhm.
chord structure revolving around the melody. So
Right. Well, in jazz also I'm used to and also I often play songs that are just simple chords, that are just maybe 2 chords, 3 chords, even a blues or something where it's just that was fun. We could give that a name, call it some kind of blues that we came up with.
sure.
Our thanks to John Stetch and Laura Orshaw for their wonderful performances this evening. And a special thanks to you for watching. We hope you enjoyed this special combination of two uniquely American musical genres, jazz and bluegrass. On the next Expressions, Sound Fusion, we feature what I think is our most interesting musical pairing to date, progressive folk and opera. I hope you'll join us as the band Driftwood takes our stage and mixes their acoustic country rock and folk sound with that of up-and-coming opera vocalist Jenny Bank. It promises to be a spectacular night of music, so until next time, I'm Michael Kinney. Thanks for watching.